Hello again, everybody. It is the coach.
Thank you, Coach. We are in the Pacific Northwest as we get set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Green Bay Packers and the Seattle Seahawks. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. On the ground, this is Rashad Penny. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On second down, here's Penny. And an alley to run. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 1.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup. And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down.
When you think of Mike Daniels, you think of strength. Hard to knock off the football, but surprising quickness and ability to move and evade people. How about that play there?
Well, he can squat 600 pounds, so that's how he caught people's attention coming into the league, and he caught our attention right there. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. To throw is Rodgers. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
58.
Rodgers will try again on 2nd down. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain,
Still second down.
not on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
58.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down.
Face mask. Defense.
So that's going to push him back half the distance.
Automatic 1st down.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They go play action here on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Bobby Wagner able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
319.
Working from the gun, Rodgers trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the
First down.
conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. And the coach has decided to throw the red flag. He will challenge this play.
The previous play is under review. After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Now it's Wilson. He's got Lockett. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, they stopped him shy of the marker, thought they were bringing up 4th down, and then that penalty.
Let's face it, they thought they had bent, but could absorb that, right? Instead, they broke as a result of their own penalty.
Penny will try to punch it in, and he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Rashad Penny, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks have taken a first-quarter lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers, steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but and the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Bobby Wagner in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Frank Clark in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On 3rd down, Wilson. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you have two.
In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the, and it looks like the offense did get the football back, but it is clearly in that end zone, and it's going to be a safety. I think you have to say this crowd here in Seattle, this 12th man had something to do with that.
As well as the architect of this stadium, combined with this crowd noise, makes it very difficult to run offense. And here, 2 points result for the defense.
It is deafening in here. This is taken at about the 14. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Here's a give to Penny. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. And that is incomplete. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brad McDougald. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, These pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and they're going to face a third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits, and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
This will be caught at about the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off.
They'll run it with Williams. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
On second down, here's Wilson. And it'll be intercepted. Kevin King with a pick.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
319! Hey, check 26! 319!
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Over the middle, complete. It's McLaughlin. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
It's a gain of 7, and it'll be second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On play action, now Rodgers. And incomplete there. A nice hit, jars the ball free, and brings up third down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Rodgers now on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Adams. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
To throw, it's Rodgers. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. A very solid gain of 27.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage.
319! 319!
After the penalty, it's Jones. And they'll get him down here at about the 5-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Get reset. Hey, easy. 319.
They'll give it to him up the middle. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. And he missed it. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So that's one you almost never see at this level. A wobbler from very short range, and it winds up no good.
All right, Brandon, if he slipped or someone got a hand on it, then I can understand it, but it's almost like you heard a whistle or something to stop this swing. A very strange result, especially for an NFL kicker.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Welch. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The Seahawks on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Wilson. Over the middle, complete. That's Welch. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 15 yards through the air and a 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
Wilson now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. It's caught on the left side by Baldwin. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
Holding offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpire's got different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
After the penalty, it's Penny. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down. Two minutes remain here in the 1st half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
His throw incomplete. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. A handoff to Penny. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now to try the field goal, here's Daniel Carlson. On the right hash, officially this will be a 51-yard attempt. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Rodgers now to throw. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawks defense.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. Throwing is Rodgers. He goes full extension, and he's got it. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also third down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. Well, let's gaze our attention as the offense takes the field on Rashad Penny. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number one. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And this is going to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. And here's Wilson on 3rd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. There he goes left side. And they will score. It's a Packer touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick six really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
The extra point, not exactly a thing of beauty, but it does ricochet home. And that will shave one more off this lead. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And out now come the Seahawks. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. So we are at halftime here on Hop. Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance. To win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up.
Yeah, baby!
That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
319!
On play action, it's Rodgers. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And Adams has it, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
That is incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass.
58!
On second down, it's Jones. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield logo. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
Get reset. Hey, easy.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. Able to avoid him. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. He already has 2 sacks to his credit. Now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible. Because right now, he is wrecking things for them.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll try to get this running game going with Williams. Finding room at the 30. And all the way up to the 35-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
The reason that counter or misdirection plays work so well is that usually you've given them a reason to think that everything's going to the direction it starts initially. You've run that type of a play throughout the game. You've given them that look, and now you're going to counter things and bring it back the other way. Almost a tendency breaker at times. And a lot of it is making sure that you have an illusion, almost like a magician. Look over here, but the play is actually happening over there, and that's where running back's vision comes into play. See the hole in a place where people don't expect and get there with some speed. And that's exactly what he did on that play.
Now a play fake here on first down. Rolling to his left. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble, and it's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Oh, that's got to frustrate him a little bit because they nearly got to him there, and it would have been the first sack of the game. Instead, they're able to influence the release, and they did force the incomplete pass.
The Seahawks on third down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 6. To throw is Wilson. Throw left side complete. It's Welch. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a first down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 12 more yards there and another first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. That is caught at the 7. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. The quick slant caught. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tougher, guys trying to get to the football. There are certain drives in the game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
The kick by Carlson is good. And that will push the lead up to 12-7. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Now Rodgers. He's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one goes for 36 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
319.
They'll go again to Jones. And a short gain down to about the 33. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
On third down, here's Jones. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
It's the Packers who have the football, but in need of points as we begin quarter number 4. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Rodgers got to have this one. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. A gutsy call. Turns out to be a good one, though. First down on a pickup of 11. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You stop to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
88.
They go play action here on first down. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15.
319.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete here. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
The Packers on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 15.
319.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They get 15, but they still needed a little bit more. 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
For those vertically challenged quarterbacks, here's a time where they will tell you it's an advantage to be a little bit on the smaller side, able to duck in behind their offensive line and stick the ball across the imaginary yellow line for a first down.
Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Rodgers to throw on second down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter.
319.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he'll get into the end zone. So now a field goal would only tie as they've upped their lead to 3. So that effort gives him a 3-point cushion and guarantees that a field goal going forward won't beat them.
Yeah, and that's really good strategy, because that's all you care about. Not getting beat at this stage. At least give your team a fighting chance.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Flushed out right. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the 4th quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball, because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
On second down, Wilson. And his throw here's incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 3 yards won't be enough here, as that'll bring up 4th down.
Now, that was a big-time play by the defense. They as well knew where the first down line was, and they didn't let them get anywhere near it.
So a big one coming now for Daniel Carlson. This one from 35 yards away. Carlson able to put this one through. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
Yeah, this is going to put them back with a not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
319.
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Back to the air on second down. It's Rodgers. And that'll be incomplete. He was looking for his running back, Aaron Jones, that time. And now it's third down.
The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll lift the throw. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And mark him down way up close to the 40 at the 39. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Hey, check 26.
Rodgers now on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
319.
Rodgers again here on 2nd and 10. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. And the pressure gets to him again. Frank Clark, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Wilson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. 2-minute drills, they're tough enough, pressure-packed enough, and these elements makes it significantly tougher.
And you don't have the margin where you can say, okay, I can allow for certain things and maybe change up a little bit. Because it's a 2-minute situation, you've got to try and make the same plays you would make if the elements didn't exist.
Now it's Wilson. And the grab made by Doug Baldwin. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. Throwing now is Wilson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Wilson to throw. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Ooh.
After review of the play, The ruling on the field is reversed.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Here's Wilson. He hits Baldwin right side. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. On first down, Wilson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. Wilson going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 6 of 7 now on this drive. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Penny. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place. As they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Now they'll run it again with Penny. And for the moment, this will be a first down. But we have a marker on the field. Let's see if this stands.
Holding, offense.
So he was holding from that left tackle position.
Everyone tries to keep their hands inside when they're blocking ever since they liberalized the rules where you can extend them out. But sometimes they get out a little wide and they get detected grabbing some cloth.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle.
False start, offense.
Well, maybe he was going to be involved in that play from his tight end spot, and he jumped.
Yeah, don't tell me that those guys don't like to block. That's what we say about them nowadays in the NFL. But I think he thought he was one of the key pieces in that play and wanted to get out and execute the assignment very fast.
Following the penalty, it's Williams. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. What pressure as this thing all rests on the foot of Daniel Carlson. Footing obviously an issue in the driving rain. This one for the win. And his kick is good. Despite the rainstorm, a good snap, a good hold, and the kick went through. And they'll be celebrating in Pioneer Square tonight. The Seahawks have won the game. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw